Hi, everybody. Welcome to a very special Low on Health Daily Rambling. Doing this now, I've realized I've been doing this for about 2 months. And basically kind of want to do a little wrap up of exactly or a little reasoning of to why I'm actually doing this. It does seem kind of stupid just to kind of do this on a daily ranting thing, and I know I kind of skipped a day earlier this week. But this is a kind of just been like a little project of mine that I've actually enjoyed doing. And real quick, I just want to give some reasons of why I've actually been decided to do this and why I actually kind of enjoy it. First off, as many of you know, Low on Health is my basically daily, or not daily, it's basically my video game blog. About 2 or 3 years ago, I decided, hey, I play a lot of video games, and I actually want to document kind of the ones that I've played. And if you know my mentality, I kind of like to know what I've done and like to quantify what I do. Maybe that's probably why I love the achievement system so much, because it has a clear indication of what games I've played and what I did in those games. And so basically, Low on Health became kind of my outlet to document what games I played. I originally started to kind of do it of topical gaming stuff of like, hey, this was on this is what I think about it. And I eventually kind of just gave up on that because who really cares? I mean, that's what Kotaku and Joystick and Destructoid and all that stuff's for, and their comment system for. A lot of people don't like to go to a website just to look at the news that somebody else did and get your review on it. So what I decided for Low on Health is basically kind of just be an outlet for my reviews and some of my just thoughts and whatnot. Another reason why I started doing this video cast is because I'm currently unemployed. Because I've been unemployed for X amount of time and I've been looking for jobs. I'm not one of those people that's just sitting on my ass all the time, but I have been looking, and as many of you know, there's not that much out there. So while I've been unemployed, I've actually been keeping a log, like a written log of every single day of what I've been doing, what places I applied for, what if I didn't hear back from them, and what I've watched, what I've done, and I've basically been doing a lot of housework too. While I've been unemployed, of course, the cold has kind of hindered me that, and then for any outside projects, I'd kind of need money to do, in which case I've kind of put a hold on most of that stuff. But another key indication basic reason why I've been doing this is because of all the free time I have from being unemployed. Now, another reason for doing this is I used to do podcasting a lot. Back in the supposed day, I used to actually almost produce different podcasts a month. The Geek Not Geek one I would help, be a part of and at the end produced. And then the Anime Nation one, which is still going on, which is the picture here, that's the Anime Nation studio, the old one. And then the Low on Health Gaming podcast. And I really enjoyed doing those podcasts. It was a lot of work to do an hour-long podcast, but I enjoyed it. Moving on, just going with what I recently did this year for Christmas is I took a bunch of old family photos and kind of archived them, scanned them, and kind of did little slideshows for everybody. And that made me realize that basically once I had that's my little sister there, Mackenzie. I realized I don't necessarily want to leave like a legacy behind. I know that sounds really corny, but I kind of almost want to have a record of who I am, because by the time she gets my age, I might be dead. I'll probably be like 50 or 40 something. Who knows what might happen. So, I mean, I would kind of like a record of who I was for her sake. She might not really care, but if she ever gets to that point where she wants to know about her big brother, I want to kind of have a documentation of who I was and what I did and whatnot. And that made me kind of realize, because basically my mother had a brother who died fairly young, around like the 20s and 30s, and I'm actually very interested in him, and there's not that much documentation and whatnot. But I know this is really super sappy, but I kind of just want to have like a legacy. And here's another picture. That's Mackenzie as she's growing up, and that's my other sister, Caitlin, who's in her 20s. I basically have two younger sisters, and there's a good 20 years apart from us and the younger one. So I hate to say it, I'm kind of doing these videos just so they have something to look back on. Let's see what else I got here. I also decided to do these videos so I can, when I did the pictures, to remind me of like people who go back and watch these videos and remember what I thought about this or that. Like this picture of me being very, very young shows I apparently was a Nintendo fanboy back in the day, which of course nowadays I don't like Nintendo whatsoever. And going through these pictures, I also found out that I used to be a surfer, believe it or not. Back in the day, I know it looks really stupid, but these are kind of things I want to leave behind for like the future generation. Then like that's what I used to be when I was younger. I used to have friends. I used to go out and do things, which nowadays, as many people know, I'm a very introvert, very hermit-like person. I used to, even when I was in my early 20s, I used to actually go out and do things. DDR tournament, used to go to cons, used to go to the raves, used to have a good time there. Also used to work at Anime Nation, and I hate to say it, that was probably the best job I've had. I mean, you will probably roll your eyes, but when you have to think about it, a lot of us had the same interest, and we really enjoyed each other's company, despite all the problems we had. But that was kind of a fun place to work at. Moving on here, and then actually I've done this video podcast too mainly for like to keep in touch with the old people from Anime Nation and old friends and whatnot. I mean, this is us getting together at like maybe once a year, maybe twice a year, just get up and kind of talking with each other. Some of these people we kept talk to on Xbox Live. But the other reason why I'm doing these video casts is so I can just mention my thoughts on certain things, and they can comment about it, or we can talk about it later, or just kind of keep up. I know a lot of people, they kind of have their own personal blogs and whatnot. The middleman there, John, has the John's Viewing Journal on Anime Nation. And I kind of like these things, so you kind of understand what people are looking into, what they're interested in, because that could also lead you to look into other stuff that, you're like, hey, he liked that, maybe I'll like it. I mean, we all do kind of have a similar interest, and it's just nice to see other people's points of view. I also did this video blog so I can catalog my hairstyles. I love having long hair, and I can't really do that now that I'm looking for jobs and whatnot. But this I actually kind of did, so hopefully over the time of me doing this, I can see how my hair grows. Also, another reason why I'm doing these is to keep in touch with the family. My mother there on the left, basically, she almost watches these dailies, which is kind of sappy when you think about it, but she does that just so you know what her son's doing. I've kind of also done these video casts periodically daily, just in case something happens in my house. I hate for something like me to choke on something and die in the house, and then nobody knows about it. So doing these casts, hopefully after a day or so, if there isn't one, people are like, hey, what's going on with Jimmy? They'll probably give me a call, stop by the house and whatnot. That's really kind of why I'm doing the video cast, and I hate kind of just to kind of ramble on this, but it's more or less just to kind of have a documentation of, hey, I'm alive, and this is what I've been doing. There's not really much going on today, so this is why I decided to do it. I've done almost 50 of these videos, and who knows how I'll be doing these in the future. I mean, I might get a job and I have time to allocate it to them. I might do these bi-weekly or whatnot, but right now I'm doing them daily just because it kind of gives me something to do, something not necessarily to look forward to, but some type of goal, something for me to do every single day. So I very much apologize if you watched this and got kind of bored, but that was me kind of just ranting and giving explanations of why I've done this. But as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time, and I promise it won't be like this.